on wit. So there might be some grammatic errors, spelling mistakes, and cringy content that I am embarrassed to talk about. The Sakura series follows the Haikyuu characters during the Sakura season, overcoming challenges and obstacles in life. So there might be some angst and something uncomfortable to others, so please proceed with caution. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video.
Fliao of Flowers Part 1, SakuAtsu. If we could find the other half of that broken moon, maybe. His eyes looking up to see the petals of the cherry blossom tree fall slowly to the ground. If only. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 slowly closed his eyes as he reminisced. It was something that he wasn't able to do in a very long time. He knew he couldn't run away forever. He knew at some point he had to go back and face the past that he tried to bury away. No matter how hard he tried, he knew that this pain would never go away. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 never went outside whenever the cherry blossoms were going to bloom. He avoided cherry blossoms as if it was some type of contagious disease. Those tree would always leave a bitter taste in his mouth. March 15, 2013. If you confessed for your crush under the cherry blossom tree whenever the cherry blossoms are blooming, the couple would end together forever. This was a myth that went around the school of Inarizaki like a wildfire. It was the talk of the school. Every free period girls would gossip about their crushes and plans when they are gonna confess to their crushes. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 was looking at his water bottle gloomily. His time was running short. Ugh. I should have listened to Samu and posted a couple picture of me and Omi online so they would stop pestering me everyday asterisk. Sumu. Yeah, okay. Rin tapped 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚's shoulders, making him flinch. Why yeah. I'm fine. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 tried to mask the sadness in his voice, but Suna was way too observant. He knew 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 was lying in just a single look. They were close friends for a good reason. If you say so. And I still haven't told the others about me and Omi. Kawa will literally pout a lot and make me feel bad for not telling him and the others. He might go on a shopping spree and make me use my own money. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 groaned in misery, and this time it wasn't only Suna but Kita, Akagya, and Aaron who were talking about their upcoming graduation rites a few feet away from 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚. What's up with him now? Come to think of it, 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 never becomes that gloomy unless something is that serious. Osamu would have been rushing to his side by now if he saw how gloomy his other half is right now, but Osamu is minding his own business. As long as he can do well in practice. Breaks over. Back to practice. Inarizaki boys volleyball team. Yes, captain. Just like that, the training finished. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 was really out of it right now. He wasn't at his full peak potential. Hell, he even apologized for not setting properly. He wasn't even listening to their captain's announcement. March 16, 23 Tokyo Dash. The day is already coming to an end and I still don't have any gift to give Omi asterisk. Is everything cleared? Alright? You're all free to go. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 snapped back into reality when his teammates yelled in chorus. This small action did not went past his teammates' eyes. This was far from the typical 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 they know. He wasn't even in his greatest performance during practice. They were already halfway to their house when Osamu decided to break the silence. Yeah, didn't have to be that oblivious and think of gifting materialistic stuffs to your lover. Sometimes simple things are the best things, Osamu said as he bite into his freshly bought onigiri. But I want to surprise him during his birthday. I want him to feel special. Yeah, you are right. It is important to make him feel special during his special day, but Sumu, you're forgetting one thing that would mean a lot to him. What is it? Finally confirming the rumors in Tokyo. What rumors? Last I checked there were no rumors in Tokyo. Osamu sighed and took out his phone to shove the post in his face. Is Sakusaki Omi and Miya 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 dating? Me and my friends saw the two walking the streets of Tokyo holding hands. They look so cute together. Underneath the post was Oikawa and Sugawara's comment saying that this was fake and 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 likes to cling to people. Well, they weren't lying. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 really loved to snuggle into someone's arm. It was the same rumor that Sakusa showed 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮. He could still remember it. It was the biggest argument he had with Sakusa. The main reason? 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 never confirmed or said that he was dating Sakusaki Omi. Sakusa's parents know about their relationship. He was introduced during their 7th month. A month later, Sakusa and 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 were walking through the nearby park, hand intertwined with each other. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮, I think we should tell your parents about our relationship. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 froze. Emma and Pa. Am I ready? I. Asterisk. I dash. Tsumu. I. Etsumu. H. Oh, I don't think I'm ready. Sakusa's smile fell. He could tell that he was really hurt. Etsumu knew that he was processing the situation as a rejection. Sakusa's emotion was slowly being shown through his mask. He had to think quickly to distract the latter. Omi. Sakusa started to walk faster, leaving the blonde behind. Hey. Heal me. Sakusa continued ignoring Etsumu. Sakusa heal me. Sakusa froze. Etsumu managed to catch up and clung onto Sakusa's right arm. Omi, the reason why I'm not yet ready is because I'm scared. Look at Dash. Sakusa took off his mask and pinned Etsumu to a nearby Sakura tree. No matter what happens, I will always support you, my love. Don't ever forget that. And it's Omi for you, my love. Sakusa whispered and planted a kiss on Etsumu's forehead before pulling it up towards his face. Etsumu was beet red. He buried his face in the spiker's jacket. Omi, yeah, big jerk. Etsumu yelled in Sakusa's jacket, making the curly-haired boy chuckle. I love you too, love. Fast forward to their fight in the Sakusa household. Sakusa was furious. He didn't even spare his parents a glance and continued pulling Etsumu towards his room. When they arrived in his room, he pushed Etsumu towards his king-sized bed. Omi. What's wrong? He didn't know why Sakusa was mad. They were meeting up like usual in Tokyo. He was about to shower Sakusa with kisses, but the boy just dodged his kisses and pulled the blonde stuff, leaving him behind. What did I even do to make him this mad? Did I forget something? Did I not give him morning love reminders? Sakusa removed his jackets and harshly threw it on the floor and turned to his computer. Did he saw something to make him this frustrated? Omi. You know you can tell me everything, right? Omi, did I do something wrong? Sakusa ruffled his hair and let out a frustrated sigh. He gave Etsumu his phone and showed the post. Is Sakusa Kiyomi and Miya Etsumu dating? Me and my friends saw the two walking the streets of Tokyo holding hands. They look so cute together. This was taken when Omi kissed me. Omi dash. You said you weren't ready. It's been 6 months since you said that, Etsumu. Etsumu's heart dropped. Sakusa never calls him Etsumu. We've been dating for a year and a month. Why yet you barely even confirm to anyone that we're dating? Are you embarrassed of me? Is that it? Tell me, Etsumu. Did you even love me? Am I not worth it? Am I just some random stranger that you're hooking up with? Just a social experiment because I'm a germaphobe dash. Etsumu cut Sakusa off by placing a kiss on his lover's lips. Omi, how could you say that? I love every inch of you. You were my first in everything. You were the only one who could understand me, and you know my insecurities and you know my secrets. I never considered you as a social experiment because every time I was breaking down you know how to cheer me up and go towards my full potential. Please, don't say that ever again. Omi Omi. Etsumu whispered as he wrapped his arms around the spiker's neck. He ran his hand under Sakusa's shirt and rubbed small circles to calm the latter down. I love you, Sakusa Kiyomi. My one and only love. Back to present. It was settled. Etsumu was going to Tokyo and surprise his Omi. He was going to confess once again underneath the Sakura tree, and post it on social media. He texted Sakusa that night that he was the one planning the surprise. Sakusa knew that the blonde was planning a grand gesture and tried to persuade him that it was fine, but Etsumu really insisted that he would be the one planning everything for his birthday. Etsumu was excited to go home. Today they didn't have any practice due to the gym undergoing maintenance. Every skip he did he was humming random songs. Osamu and Suna were following the fake blonde with a slow pace, pretending that they didn't know the certain blonde skipping and singing happy songs. They were being followed by tons of boys and girls alike. Osamu and Suna were annoyed by this everyday routine, but they decided to shrug them off and wore a bored expression. They didn't say the like being followed around the school was nice. Etsumu would always grumble that his stuff was gonna get squashed by the amount of letters and chocolates that people stuff inside his locker. He would constantly carry a trash bag on his bag to throw the letters to some random bins lingering around the streets of Hyogo. What is even going on? This is new from the typical Etsumu, who would always get annoyed over the pile of letters inside of his locker. Osamu shrugged. Who knows? Suna eyes the gray-haired twin but stops when he noticed the two stopping. Suna's eyes widened when he saw Itsumi taking out a large 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐤 from his bag's pocket. What on earth? Osamu yawned and approached Itsumi, helping him to stuff some of the chocolates in a spare 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐤 that he always carries around for his sweaty gym clothes. Osamu grumbled when he realized how ridiculously big some of the chocolate boxes were. He only managed to fit 4 extra large-sized heart boxes in his bag. Suna went beside Osamu and took one box from Osamu's 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐤. For the second time Suna's eyes widened when he saw the brand of the chocolate. Royce. Osamu went beside Suna and took a peek of the box that Suna opened. What ya doin'? Oh my. Osamu started to drool over the chocolates, hastily snatching it away from Suna. So many delicious chocolates. Osamu whiffed the scent of chocolate and was about to take a piece, but Suna smacked his arms away. Hey. Samu, ya just recently recovered from a toothache. Ma would get mad at your pig face if ya eat more of those darn sweets. Itsumi said as he turned his head to give a disappointed look at his twin. Osamu let out a huff and shoved the box of chocolates to Suna, who was laughing hysterically at Osamu's misery. Bah ha 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 ha, this ha 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 is so funny. Stop it, Rin. Osamu's face was red while he grumbled and glared at his boyfriend, but the brunette couldn't hold in his laughter. A few minutes later Suna finally gathered himself with a blushing Osamu, and Itsumi had closed his locker. Suna thought that Itsumi had a change of heart and decided to open some of the letters, but boy how was he wrong. Itsumi neatly tied the trash bag and threw it at the nearest trash can, which was beside his locker. Normally Itsumi would be taking those chocolates to practice for his teammates or for reserves at home when Osamu and Itsumi were off their diet, or when Osamu just wanted to eat them all. Samu, you better not eat those many chocolates. I want tea. I promise. Suna only turned for a few seconds to see what Itsumi was up to, but Osamu was already snarfing all the chocolates in his mouth, satisfying his cravings for sweet. Suna clicked his tongue and was about to scold the gray-haired twin more, but he got caught off guard when he saw the blonde grabbing his beauty kit.
What is this beauty kit, you ask? It really means what it is. This kit is supplied no one other than the pretty 𝐒𝐞𝐤𝐿, filled with makeup kits, brushes, stuffs that can clean your brushes and skincare routine. Which was mercilessly chucked into a bag. 𝐒𝐞𝐤 shipped all of these bags to the bottoms, and as they say, when it comes to fashion and style advice, 𝐒𝐞𝐤 really is the best person who you can turn for some advice. Smirking face.
Suna might have stayed silent, but it only took Osamu a single glance to read his lover's expression like an open book. He has a date. Osamu casually said while shoving another piece of chocolate in his mouth. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, did I hear that correctly or am I tripping? Wait. What? Suna yelled, making the twins flinch and shushing him. There were already a lot of fans stalking them, as if Itsumi was going to disappear in thin air. Attracting more of those fans would be more annoying to deal with. Suna mentally shivered in disgust. Suna, why did ya have to shout? Okay, look, that was a shocking detail for me. Well, we have to go somewhere now, I don't feel safe anymore. Osamu said. Itsumi glanced at his younger brother. Suna knew this look too well, it was their twin senses' danger radar. They can sense if one is in danger, making them drop all of the things they were doing and rush to the other's side. Osamu was sick once and couldn't come to school. Itsumi stayed up all night to take care of the younger twin. Osamu could already tell that something strange was gonna happen, but Itsumi, being Itsumi, forced himself to attend school despite having 0 to none energy. It was when they were already practicing did Itsumi fainted, and a few minutes later Osamu came barging in the gym in a blue pajamas yelling for Itsumi's name. Talk about coincidence, right? Itsumi snapped back into reality and cleared his throat. Come on, there's too many eyes here. Let's go somewhere secluded. They went to a cafe near the twins' place. After paying for their orders, they went to the far corner of the cafe and sat there in peace. Suna was giving Itsumi a "what are you waiting for? You better spill or else you are not leaving this place until I get what I wanted" look. Itsumi sighed and placed his coffee down on the table. Me and Omi started dating December 5th, a few days after the All Japan Youth Training Camp. Me and Hashiyama-kun helped him kill a roach in his room. I teased him for being homesick, but it turned to him scolding me and trusting Hashiyama more and saying that I was unsanitary. What ya two looking at? Osamu stopped eating, looked at the two in front of him. You need to stop eating in your room, Samu. Fine. Osamu grumbled and shoved another piece of chocolate in his mouth. I swear to Asahi, Osamu. Stop eating sweets. No. Etsumu smiled at the two couples in front of him and checked his watch. Oh no. I have to go. Yeah too, I still have to catch the train going to Tokyo. Etsumu packed his stuffs, making sure he didn't leave anything, checking his phone to go through the list he needs to surprise his boyfriend. I'm just amazed that Ya managed to date him. Out of all the people Ya managed to score Sakusa Kiyomi. It just happened that we became a pair and started to work perfectly together. I was already expecting that he would be a great player. Hell, he's part of the top 3 aces in Japan for a reason. We thought that we would only be communicating through volleyball, but we both enjoy talking with each other, talking over ice creams and some onigiri he made. Osamu let out a violent cough and nearly spat out his drink. He covered his mouth in apology for disrespecting the food. Suna gently tapped Osamu's back and mentally smirked. He has too much pride to admit it, but Tsumu, when talking about onigiri, he wants to make sure that his onigiris are the only one you eat and doesn't want you to taste other onigiris. Yeah sure, that's the too blunt jerk? Osamu said in between coughs. Drink some water first, Samu, and I would appreciate if you stop calling him that. Etsumu grimaced at the sight and gave his twin a glass of water. Don't worry about him, I'll take care of him. You need to catch that train trip. Tokyo is hours away and you might miss the train. Etsumu nodded and yelled thanks before rushing out of the cafe. Time skip. Etsumu was lucky that Sakusa's birthday was the weekend, so he had a good enough reason to stay over Tokyo. He was taking confident steps towards the Sakusa household. Itakayama's class was called off just an hour ago due to some internal reasons. There was no way his plan would fail. Etsumu's plan. Number 1, head over to the Sakusa's household and stayed there all night. Number 2, cuddles. Number 3, share a kiss under the sakura tree. He was about to grab the metal loop of the gate, but it snapped open and a worried-looking guard came to greet him. Thank God you are here, Mr. Etsumu. Come in, the masters are in distress because of the young master. Etsumu's eyes widened. He dashed towards the mansion, not caring if he looked like a lunatic. The only thing that loops around his head is Sakusa's well-being. He barged in the door and saw them panicking and trying to calm down Sakusa. Etsumu. Thank God. Help us, he won't calm down. It's been 10 minutes since he started to have a panic attack. Etsumu tossed his bag to the nearby couch. Sakusa's cousins and father backed away, giving the couple some space. Etsumu took a deep breath and took the sanitary side and sprayed himself, making sure that Sakusa watched every action. Omi, I'm taking off your jacket, alright? Sakusa barely recognized that it was his very own lover talking to him. He started to breathe normally. When Etsumu managed to take off his jacket, he turned his attention to Sakusa. Alright, breathe with me, in, out, in, out, that's it Omi. It took 10 minutes for Sakusa to regain his normal breathing pattern. Sakusa wrapped his arms tightly around Etsumu. Sakusa's family gave the two some privacy. They were listening to each other's heartbeat. It felt warm, and for some reasons it reminds them of the memories and challenges they went through. Omi. Sakusa responded by burying his head deeper into Etsumu's neck. I had plans laid out for us for your birthday, but this would be the best. Etsumu giggled. His legs were wrapped around the taller male, and needless to say, they were in a very comfortable position. They stayed and cuddled for a few more minutes before going out to do Etsumu's plan. It was already 9 p.m. and Sakusa wanted to sleep and do all-night cuddles with the blonde. But since Sakusa loves his Etsu so much, he agreed to go to the park and let Etsumu do what he planned for the entire weekend for them. Though, it was more of making the Sakusa Kiyomi guilty tactic that Osamu helped him plan. Etsumu made a mental note to thank his twin for making the plan. I wanted to cuddle with you and wake up watching you sleep in my arms the next day. But this could work. Sakusa sighed as he glanced at the blonde who was admiring the sakura tree. Don't worry, Omi. I promise this is the best birthday you will ever have. I look forward to it, love. Sakusa smiled. He turned his attention back to the road. He a horn honking. Sakusa stirred the car to the left lane to give priority to the honking car. Huh? Sakusa eyes squinted when he noticed that the car also followed them. He tried to shift back to the lane he was originally driving on normal speed, but the car was still following them. Adrenaline pumped through Sakusa's body. He stepped on the gas and started to drive than the recommended speed limit. Sit tight, Tsumu. Huh? Etsumu was baffled, but he immediately understood when he took a view on the rear view mirror. His heart was beating loudly, he leaned his back on the seat of the chair. SakuAtsu tried to shake the car off their tail, they were 20 minutes away from the police station. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 understood the situation, he pulled out his phone and tried to contact the nearby police department but it kept going straight to the robotic voice call. SakuAtsu gritted his teeth, SakuAtsu took a sharp turn making the car drift. The screeching of car wheels was unpleasant to the ears but that doesn't matter right now. SakuAtsu realized the mistake he had done, they taking a road that leads them to Urawa. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚 was still busy attempting to call the police station, he knew he had to make a choice that would get out of this situation. It was either stopping or hitting the nearby tree, but will result in a high injury. SakuAtsu started to press his hand on the car's horn to get the attention of the passerbys. SakuAtsu slowly realized that he was already driving in an impossible speed. He tried to step on the brakes but he couldn't control the steering wheel anymore. SakuAtsu reached over to hug the blonde who was cowering in his seat in his fear, while trying to dial the police station. SakuAtsu smiled as he tightly held onto 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐚, using his body to cover 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮's vision. It's okay, 𝐒𝐿𝐴tsu. I'm here. SakuAtsu whispered in the blonde's ear, gently rubbing his back, a white blinding light took over his vision. SakuAtsu closed his eyes waiting for the painful impact. I don't care if I don't come alive as long as 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 is safe, please, save my 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 slowly opened his eyes when he felt flashing light seeping through his vision. He slowly opened his eyes, he slowly took in his surrounding and he couldn't hear anything, he could hear his heartbeat, he could only take in the night stars, sakura petals, red and blue lights overtaking his vision. Pain shot through his body, he couldn't feel his lower body, and his hands and begging to be taken apart. He slowly turned his head to the side. Tears slowly flooded in his eyes. Oh me. SakuAtsu was placed on a stretcher, there were 3 medics surrounding SakuAtsu with a defibrillator. He watched as the medics frantically counted as they tried to resuscitate him. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 let out a heart-aching sob. He couldn't take in the sight in front of him. In an instant he was surrounded by 3 medics trying to properly lie him back to his original position. His body was aching and his mind was begging him to obey the medics but his heart was yelling to reach out for his lover. Oh me. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮, you can't do this to me. You promised we would do dash. He wanted to yell at Osamu to shut up, there isn't any good reason to be sobbing out so loudly beside him. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 slowly opened his eyes, he blinked a few times before taking in where he was in a hospital ward. Oh my god, 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮. 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐢 yelled, he rushed towards 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮's side. I'll go and fetch the doctor, Hinata said as he hurriedly rushed outside to fetch a doctor. Wake up guys, 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 is finally awake, 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐢 said as he gently shook the others who fell asleep on the couch. My head hurts, 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮's voice cracked and Kenma, who would normally be busy playing on his switch, gave 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 a cup of water and guided him to drink it and helped him up. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 smiled and silently thanked the smaller setter. What happened? Take some rest first, it's best you hear it from the doctors themselves. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 nodded and closed his eyes, it's best he take his twins' advice and take a few more rest before talking to the doctor. A few minutes later Hinata returned with the doctor and did their first checkup after 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 woke up. Suna was holding Osamu's left hand while they listened to the doctor's explanations. At first, I was a bit skeptical that you would recover when you first arrived, the medics on the ambulance reported that you went into shock after seeing the person you were with being resuscitated. When we did your first checkup your chance of survival was 5%, but this is a sign of a miracle that you woke up from a month-long coma. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 choked on his saliva when he heard the doctor's explanation. A month long? The doctor nodded and listed something on the clipboard he was carrying. However, we can't release you from the hospital just yet. We need to make sure you fully recovered from the state of shock you went through. 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮 nodded, his body did felt heavy and sore, he was confined in the hospital for that long and the percentage for him surviving was very low. Well, if you need something else please don't hesitate to call for a nurse or doctor. I have to check with the other person who was brought in with you. Wait, how is my boyfriend doing? The doctor stopped on his tracks and turned to face 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮. His friend's eyes widened in shock or disbelief. The doctor let out a small cough and smiled at 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐮. You don't have to worry, he woke up a week ago and is already recovering. We only have to cast his left arm. He used it to protect the both of you from the impact of the car crash. He was a strong fighter. He recovered immediately after bringing the both of you in. His cast would be removed tomorrow. If that's all, I would like to excuse myself. The doctor bowed and went outside of 𝐒𝐚𝐤𝐵's ward. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 looked at Osamu, who was trying to hold back his tears. Samu, if you'll excuse us, we'll leave you two alone. Yamaguchi said. He understood the situation. He pulled the others outside the ward except for Suna. I thought I lost ya, Osamu said above a whisper. Tears were now slowly flowing down his face. You're an evil squirt. How do you think Ma and Pa would take it that your stupid face got into an accident? I am sorry, Samu. Ma and Pa are already old. You can't do that. Promise me you'll never do that again. I promise, I won't. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 said, mimicking Osamu when he tried to snarf down 𝐒𝐚𝐤's chocolates a month ago. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 managed to clear the tense atmosphere by this light joke. Osamu's cheek turned like a tomato and crossed his arms. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 smiled as he thought about their Ma and Pa, their grandparents who took care of them after their parents died in a car crash during the Sakura season. How he wished he would still have parents that would be able to see his and Osamu's growth. It was a fruitful month, like how 𝐒𝐚𝐤 predicted. 𝐒𝐤𝐤 went on a shopping spree using his money. 𝐒𝐤𝐤 did not even hold back. Everyone at least had 5 to 10 clothings and 2 pairs of shoes in the shopping bag. He made a mental note to never get to 𝐒𝐤𝐤's bad side ever again, and whatever secrets he had to share it with his Omi family and his friends. March 20th, 2018. Present date. Dear Ma and Pa, I hope you are doing well in heaven. I finally did it. I overcame my fear of visiting the park whenever it is cherry blossom season. I finally made peace with a person that nearly died because of me. I used to not believe in myths and stories that you used to tell me and Samu when we were kids. I now know what they mean and how important they are. I finally met my soulmate and become his significant partner forever. We had a lot of misunderstandings before because I didn't tell the world that I was an Omega and everyone tried to court and flirt with me. Now the world knows that I belong only to my Alpha and I'm his faithful and lovely Omega, and the best achievement of all. Mama. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 turned his head towards the baby's voice, making him chuckle. Yes, 𝐒𝐚𝐤 is now a Sakusa 𝐒𝐚𝐤. Hey. Stop dreaming, come here and sit with us 𝐒𝐚𝐤 babe. Chuka yelled as he rubbed his swollen belly. Alright. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 giggled and picked up Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi giggled and wrapped his tiny arms around 𝐒𝐚𝐤. Hey. Sakusa planted a kiss on 𝐒𝐚𝐤's forehead as he wrapped his left hand on his waist, hugging him closely to his chest. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 giggled and placed a kiss on Reniku's forehead, making the baby produce bubbles out of his mouth. 𝐒𝐚𝐤 went to the other bottoms who were talking about their due dates and heats. Despite the flower season always brings them curses and battles that doesn't have any answers, he was thankful that they all managed and overcame those hardships. When 𝐒𝐚𝐤 saw Sakusa on the rooftop patiently waiting for 𝐒𝐚𝐤, they fell in love with each other once again. They cried in each other's embrace, missing each other's arms, thanking that their prayers were answered.
I hope I wasn't so harsh in this one. I'm a big time fan of angsty 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more texting stories in the future.